I am Phoebian Swill with News Hour on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Coming up in the bulletin this evening, President Kogoma meets with eminent women of Sierra Leone 2018 Situation Room. 40 military officers of the Sierra Leone, the Gambia, and the Sierra Leone Police complete intermediate staff course. And former councillor and parliamentary candidates of NGC, ADP, CDP, C4C, and PMDC in Port Local declare for the All People's Congress. All these and more lined up in News Hour. News are on SLBC. President Kogoma has received eminent women of Sierra Leone 2018 Situation Room and other groups at State House. The president told the groups that the country is making progress with its electioneering process despite challenges.
President Kogoma thanked the eminent women and market women for calling on him to urge the government and all Sierra Leoneans to continue to pay attention on the deteriorated situation of peace in the country. The president described it as uncalled for, which he said he believes the people of Sierra Leone do not deserve. The president recalled that the country has been conducting elections after the war, which were relatively peaceful, even though they were more difficult before the war was declared over in 1996, and this election is the fourth after the war. He said the country has enjoyed peace for a very long time, which every Sierra Leonean has worked very hard for its achievement, and the government also has worked very hard to sustain it. President Kogoma therefore said that it is the responsibility of all in authority, leaders, security agencies, the political leadership, including leadership of the Women's Situation Room Sierra Leone, to provide peace for the country. He said that he believes that the recently held elections on March 7 are the most peaceful ones as people turned out to cast their votes despite earlier fears, but that the process was relatively peaceful all over the country. He pointed out that after the elections, challenges emerged with concerns raised to the extent that he had to invite the National Electoral Commission, the Political Parties Registration Commission, and all other stakeholders for them to address those concerns raised. President Kogoma informed the eminent women group of assurance given by the National Electoral Commission that they will address the said concerns. He said this will enable every Sierra Leonean to go into the runoff with an open mind, knowing that the process is transparent, free and fair for the acceptance of the outcome of the election.
This is what happened is unacceptable. We all condemn them, and whether it is APC or SLPP or anybody, the people of this country don't deserve that. And we also know that beyond here, now they remind yourself about the special court. What happened about the international court? You sit down in your little corner, you write something where they incite people. Once they establish it, you don't incite people. You take responsibility for it. You make an audio where we will identify you tomorrow, saying that you send that audio there. You go take responsibility for it. You make, say, the clever politician where they hide behind a figure, where they in a room, he send people, let me say, when I go. We go out, you go condemn. But then I instigate. Because it is happening. You know, One hand, people and they condemn, the other hand, and they instigate. Because where are all of these people coming from? Suddenly, we don't do the campaign, we don't do everything. Now they say run off. So I want to assure Una that as president, we will continue to make sure say peace and quiet in the country. As president, I will want to hand over a country where we will be peaceful, where we will be united. And I urge all the politicians, may they not go in for cheap votes. Go out there and earn your votes. Now the violence and the threat, and at this violence you want to bring back, they made them afraid. Make some people say, I know they go vote again. Because when you say I know they go vote, then they don't deprive you of your civic rights. They don't deny you that. And we know for do that, for encourage every Sierra Leonean for vote. Everybody for vote. Make you vote in peace. At the end of the day, whether the people want Ingo be the president. Whether the people want in another 2 weeks from now, I'm sure in this room he will take the oath of office.
Earlier, the international consultant Women's Situation Room, Madam Barbara Sangari, said the Eminent Women of Sierra Leone is a group of women preaching peace during elections all over the world, especially where they believe there is violence. She informed the president that as a group, they have started working since December, meeting with the police and all political parties to ensure the elections before, during and after are peaceful. A member, Madam Davis, pointed out that the country has gone through the elections and is now going to a runoff. But there is a grave concern to the women of Sierra Leone. They are not happy about which is tribalism ticket political parties are using to campaign has caused a lot of violence in the country. Madam Davis added that the market women have approached them and explained the problems they encounter when there is political chaos, including the loss of their businesses. She pointed the recent incident in Bo, where the women said their souls were broken and were treated badly, which is a great loss to the women and the country as a whole. The National Coordinator Women's Situation Room Sierra Leone, Madam Awassa Mai, noted with dismay that the women of Sierra Leone are deeply concerned about the use of tribalism during campaigns, which is fueling hate speech, regionalism, arson, attacks, robbery, burning of vehicles, destruction of market stalls and wares across the country. She added that as mothers of Sierra Leone, they are calling on the president, custodian of peace and national cohesion, to ensure that peace and the well-being of Sierra Leoneans prevail. Madam Awasamai intimated the president that the women of Sierra Leone depend on him for peace and security of the country. They urged the president to speak up and condemn all acts of violence and to use all possible means to put a stop to all the unnecessary incidences highlighted above. Indicator of Women's Situation Group Liberia, Councillor Yvette Chesson, said she is in Sierra Leone representing the women of Africa to ensure that Sierra Leone has peace before, during and after the elections. She told the president that they are in Sierra Leone as an organization to protect the women of Sierra Leone and Africa as a whole.
In another development, the newly elected ECOWAS President Jean-Claude Burr has paid a courtesy call on President Kouama at State House. We bring you the highlights.
Yeah, that's one thing. What's the other thing?
News are on SLBC. New Covenant Global Mission based in the United States of America that concentrates in education, poverty alleviation through global food production, housing development, and microfinancing is in Sierra Leone. We bring you details.
My name is Archbishop Dr. Joseph Alexander. I am the primate of New Covenant Global Missions and Church Ministries. I'm visiting Sierra Leone representing close to 2.5 million people globally. We served in 27 nations of the world. I came here and came in the right time, election time, to explore personally and observe and see what can be done and how we can be a part of a nation building in Sierra Leone. It's election time, and of course I came to pray that God would give us the kind of leadership that is needed to turn the nation around for the glory of God and the help of all the people of this nation. We establish the principle and teach a principle that we call Christocracy. We believe that Christocracy precedes democracy. Democracy cannot function unless we understand the purpose of Christ and the teachings of Christ and the laws of Christ and the mandate of Christ. That is to be able to stand for everyone, because we cannot represent the people that we don't love and care and want them to be like us, because it is wrong for one group to eat while others starve to death. And so we want to see what role we can play through the body of Christ, the church, and the leadership of this nation to deal with the issues. Of course, you know, I'm not the one that established this, that Sierra Leone is going through a tremendous challenges, the issue of poverty. I read today, of course, Sierra Leone is a part of it. Over 39 million people in Africa are starving today, but a land that God has blessed. We believe that our role, as I come to prayer, praying for this nation, praying for political system that will allow God to use people to bless other people. We believe that education is a major part of socializing people to think a particular way according to revelation of Christocracy. Why should a nation like this lack food? Why should housing, a place to live, be an issue? Why should women and the less privileged not be given opportunity to develop themselves and contribute to the development of the entire nation so that everyone can experience the peace and the love that we're entitled to under God's grace? And so our goal as we explore, talk to people, is to see how we can be a part of nation development. That is a part of our representation of Jesus Christ on earth. I am praying that God, who rules in the affairs of men, will cause the right leader to be elected, right leaders to be elected, from the presidential to the parliamentary and to all aspects. But we believe that there cannot be a true democracy, which is what Sierra Leone is practicing, one man, one vote, except we understand Christocracy, that God intends all of us to enjoy the earth that he created, and that through love and justice and peace, we can grow together. But I came to pray for Sierra Leone even at this political situation, and through what we call salvation and deliverance and the redemption of Jesus Christ. I don't want to use what people have termed a cliche, well, born again, this or that. If we commit to the truth of God, according to the teaching of Jesus Christ, nation can be governed. Nation can have peace because we will love our neighbor as ourselves. Pray that the body of Christ, the church in this nation, will rise to represent what Christ taught. Not tribalism, not nationalism, but understanding that we all have a right to occupy the earth and to live and to enjoy this earth that God created. I pray that Sierra Leone will move into that.
Counsel for the first defendant, National Electoral Commission, has objected to the application for injunction to challenge issues bordering on the conduct of the first round of elections. The preliminary objection is on the grounds that the High Court does not have jurisdiction to determine matters relating to the conduct of presidential elections. Counsel Barry Cummings submitted that issues of forensic audit of the first round recount of ballots should be heard in the Supreme Court. She quoted Section 42F and 45 of the National Constitution that is mandatory. Counsel for the plaintiff, Lansana Dumbuya, submitted that they are not challenging the presidential elections as the process is ongoing. He noted that Section 45F of the Constitution hinges on the presidency and that his client is challenging issues bordering issues of the general conduct. He noted that the High Court has unlimited jurisdiction to hear matters of this nature, where the rules provide for them. After the submissions by both sides, presiding Judge Abdul Rahman Mansari adjourned the matter to Saturday 24th March for preliminary ruling on the objection. Meanwhile, a motion of notice to discontinue the matter of citizenship involving NGC leader Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela has been filed in by the plaintiff. More news on NewsHour. Sierra Leoneans have continued to preach peace and unity before, during, and after the elections. They spoke to our reporter, Joseph Tule.
This is Michael Pratt from Modern Kids Model School. Well, I want to make people know see the one game Sierra Leone we get. And we want to make people know see the one game Sierra Leone we get. Vote the person we know see. We want to make people want to vote there. May this not be in confusion. Vote the person we know see how we want to vote. May this not be in confusion. People they fight because we don't see how they fight against brother sister they fight. You know people they fight against election. Brother they fight against brother sister they fight. You know we fit. And after election, this don't they affect. You know it affect the school. And even as so parents they fees for this don't they affect. Don't they affect the school. And if it's still parents and if it's for say something bad will happen because we don't want that. Please make we always say now one get say something bad will happen. SLP we don't want that. Please make we always say now one get say make we show love. Whether it SLP other get for win the election, other God appoint so make we show love. Please make we accept that. Other get for win the election, other God appoint.
Alpha Mohammed Kamara, sir. St. Edward's Senior Secondary School, SS2 Science. Well, the message we get from me brother and sister, from me mama and uncle. Well, the message we get from me brother and sister, from me mama and uncle. Now president, manifest, election, now president, manifest, no cross, no win, election, win.
The Inspector General of Police, Dr. Richard Boigwe, has held talks with the Market Women Association of Sierra Leone and the Women's Situation Room. Princess Gipton tells us more.
The first round of election has seen the emergence of hate speech and tribal sentiment resulting to violent attacks, destruction of market tables and wares in different parts of the country. This has resulted to concerns by various groups led by the Market Women's Association Sierra Leone directed to the Sierra Leone Police.
IG sir, we the women of Sierra Leone are deeply concerned about the use of tribalism during campaigns, which is fueling hate speech, regionalism, arson attack, robbery, burning of vehicles, destruction of market stalls and wares across our country. Papa, the reason why we put here, now we woman them, now we they feel the pain. And this melee, we don't ask for one.
The Inspector General of Police maintained that the Sierra Leone Police exists for the peace of Sierra Leone.
Make her assure that the Sierra Leone Police, we know we exist for let Sierra Leone be peaceful. That now we come mandate in addition to whatever we do for protect life and property, for make sure this country is peaceful. And for the election, we don't say the political party them Boku. 17 of them, 16 don't feel presidential candidates and running mate. And then all together would depend on the Sierra Leone Police for provide the security. That we are committed to, but with a caveat. As I always they tell me officer them across the country, across the force, that everybody they look up to me. The people of Sierra Leone, the international community, and all the 17 political parties. We for serve everybody, every political party fairly, impartially, professionally, will not for take partisan position at all.
He said they have increased police profile due to the present concerns around hate speech and tribal sentiment. The Inspector General of Police noted that he cannot compromise the security of the state for few people.
Because I get a duty for protecting them. I cannot compromise the security of this nation, 7.something million, for just a handful of personal interest. I will not do it.
Thank you.
I will not do it. Now I tell me officers, this election, everybody remain a policeman. Leave the politics to the politicians.
Women call for a halt in tribal sentiment and hate speeches. Princess Gibson, SLBC News.
Aberdeen residents have also called for peaceful elections for national cohesion. Julie Hardin was there speaking to them.
Of the Central Mosque, Nafrito Nayaso. On behalf of the Inter-Religious Council and all the religious people in the country, we call on everybody, let us realize, say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, na give the country. And when we give the country, we call her Mama. And we know what Mama being a sensitive person, where the prophet say, na forgive respect more than any other person else. So the way how they give Mama respect, na so they give the country respect. And while we forgive respect to our country, Quran say, Atiullah Allah wa ati'u Rasul wa ul amri minkum. He said, we obey Allah, we obey the Prophet, and we also obey the law. We obey the one where they control the system, the leaders of the community. If you say you obey God, you know, obey your leaders, then you know to good believer. Fail, let you know that one day. And what they tell you for do, now you for do. Go yonder, no go yonder, go pay.
Sheikh Fumba Abubakar Suare, the project coordinator for the Sierra Leone Muslim Missionary Union, and this is a body of scholars that way then go out to land for Canada's Konski government. Second, me the chief imam of the Madingo Central Mosque. Sierra Leone election this time, we get high hopes say it will end in peace. Two evidences don't meet. Christianity in this country is predicated on peace. Islam also in this country is predicated on peace. Christ say shalom, where the peace, he say may the peace and the grace of the Lord be upon you. In Islam says salamu alaikum. But the philosophy of this greeting here, people therefore understand. When you don't greet somebody, say peace be unto you, it means you wish the person throughout in day for being in peace, throughout in life for being in peace. So you don't say you don't wish that person in peace, enough for can't turn back again a snake for can bite that person, give you poison. So one for everybody, if you get to violence mind, you brutal, you hostile, now for keep all hostility and cease fire until we see the smooth sailing of this 27 March 2018 election. We're very hopeful this time, and we don't do some tests along the corridor of the entire basis. Then we see say the youths they not begin integrate, they don't begin accept themselves.
As the country braces itself for next week's runoff, former councillor and parliamentary candidates of the NGC, ADP, CDP, C4C and PMDC in Port Loko have declared for the All People's Congress. The APC has been canvassing support from the other parties that took part in elections on March 7. Asmir Bar tells us more.
On Wednesday, the NGC flag bearer, Dr. Kanda Yumkela, broke his silence, but what was surprising to some people was that Mr. Yumkela did not throw his support to either party, but gave his supporters the free hand to choose who they want to vote for during the runoff. The NGC and ADP were able to make impact in the northern region, which is one of the strongholds of the All People's Congress. Had they won the election, these former councillor and member of parliamentary candidates plus mayoral candidates also, would have represented the SLPP, NGC, C4C, CDP, and PMDC in Port Loko District Council and the Parliament in Freetown. Though they did not get it, they have now thrown their weight behind the All People's Congress. Some of these NGC, ADP, and C4C members, among others, have just come home again, as APC was their former party. Hundreds of former supporters came from the nook and cranny of Port Loko to pledge their support to the party. The deputy chairman of the APC Port Loko, Ali Suma, has been working behind the scene to bring to their fold these supporters of other political parties. Mr. Suma welcomed the returnees and assured them that if the APC wins the election, they will not be forgotten. Ali Suma said the APC is a family and appealed to them to forget about what has happened in the past and work for the party's victory.
The second round of can we record runoff? And it don't left between Dr. Samuel Kamara and Julius Madabiu. We believe in dialogue. We believe in for talk to people. There see reasons why Samuel Kamara that the person when we will take this country forward. We thought of it say, instead of threats, violence, we forgot our brothers and sisters them, who we feel aggrieved. Go to NGC, SLPP, and other parties them. Now that it already the stage for put Mama Salon first, then we call her.
He He said they are part of the APC family and appealed to them to work for the APC. Honorable Kombo Kamara praised Alisuma for working hard to get back those who had left, saying the APC is a grassroots party where everyone matters. Honorable Kamara called on the supporters to work for the party's victory on Tuesday. Former flag-bearer aspirant of APC Mahmoud Tarawali said the election of Alisuma as deputy chairman of APC Putloko district has borne fruits for the party. Mahmoud Tarawali said those who have joined them will surely help the APC to achieve victory. Mr. Tarawali said during the second round, the party has corrected its mistakes and is ready to win the election.
And at this moment, we the APC say no violence. No violence because we believe say we get the numbers for win the elections. The APC get the numbers for win the elections. Especially so where we brothers and the other parties can't join we. I want to know how SFP go win. I want to know how they go win. The assurance one for Gilna and send a strong message all over is that this election, the one they will attempts for thief, they're not going to thief again. No more. These are the elections where people they go vote, go respect the votes of the people, votes will be counted, and the one we get the highest votes go win. And obviously, it's going to be Dr. Samura Kamara.
Charles Benson is one of the staunch supporters of NGC in Putloko. Him, together with his councillor and parliamentary aspirants, declared for the APC and assured them of their votes come Tuesday.
I vote on behalf of NGC for the entire Capital of Chiefdom, with the price of constituency 076 and 077. All People's Congress will rest assured. We will not get NGC and we will support you to ensure that we will get state out. If we are tired today, we will give you support to APC because as I tell you earlier, say now big brother there. Anyway, when one man me one daddy brother them fight, then come on back. Okay, one brother that the same party.
This ADP supporter also expressed excitement to support the APC during the runoff. As they joined the APC, the party, no doubt, is happy to get back these supporters whom it had lost to other parties, as politics, they say, is a game of number. Putloko is a backyard of the APC, but the party's victory was challenged by the emergence of NGC and ADP. These declarations will give the APC a sigh of relief.
News are on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. It's time for a break. We'll be back with more news after the break. It's time now for business news. Let's join Doreen Barry.
It's now time for business updates, and we'll begin with the foreign exchange rate. Pound sterling buys at 10,241 leones and sells at 10,458 leones. US dollar buys at 7,458 leones and sells at 7,793 leones. Euro buys at 9,103 leones and sells at 9,284 leones. That's the end of foreign exchange rates. The slight increase in the price of meat had been largely caused by the election, as alleged by large and small-scale business owners. A reporter, Victor Kurma, went out and about to access the views of business people. This time at the magazine court, Kawyad, he spoke to the chairman, Aliyu Bai.
Anybody, yes, this all the pray for. People in the fear, the propaganda in the state, in the fetch and the lie, free to get peace. No problem now. People in the good tell them now place they fetch na free time, na make the cow the animal. If in one person cow the animal now, in price the different.
So what you can tell about the price generally about beef?
The price of beef right now na 17,000
for steak,
beef and bone.
Beef and bone, 17.
Yes.
Where is steak?
20,000.
20,000.
Yes.
So now this new government they come regarding this issue of Kawyad, what's the improvement you think the government will do?
Well, I believe so they were able to assist to a lot, because one time we don't get agreement with the past mayor within a council. We don't give it order for make we take loan in a bank or make them the more here. We don't make the more than I am.
Now.
Well, for now, like you can buy, like you can go buy for cancel. Time moving they buy before this election, and this time we know how they buy. It's not quite different for me.
So what do you mean? The price don't go up now?
The price don't add seriously because we go to the market right now, not get meat. So we always go and they tell me say right now the people when they cow them and they fear for cow them. So that don't give the reason right now. Cow price don't go up seriously.
So how much for pound meat now?
Right now we can buy and then 18,000, 20,000. So if you say that 8, well for now it's taken the sell and then 20,000, 20 something thousand.
Thank you very much.
I'm not a problem.
Now you do business. As you can go na Kawyad go buy beef and can sell.
Yeah.
Now what kind of soup is that? Soup they sell or waiting?
No,
goat soup. How much do they buy the pound?
The pound is available at 15.
It's got it.
But now 18.
Now before the election I mean 15.
Yeah.
Now 15,000 for pound.
Now 18.
18,000 now.
Yeah.
Then are the steak or the half and half?
Beef and bone.
Beef and bone, and the 18,000.
Yeah, the snake they buy 19,000, 20,000.
The steak.
Yeah.
Now 18, 20,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so the steak the half and half. Now you buy 18,000. Yes, well, we don't just get the voice of the chairman for the Kawyad when I'm in a magazine, because now we're there with somebody who said go buy, they can sell. Now, madam, what's your name? Where the cow?
The cow beef na 18,000.
The steak or the half and half?
No, the steak na 18.
Now?
Now.
18,000.
Goat meat na 20. The steak of the beef na 20,000. That half and half, it's 30 now. Na 18 at the seller.
So how long did they buy them before?
I be 15,000.
So now the price don't go up. So
I mean 13, sir.
Before this election, so because plenty of people they blame, say that because of this election, the price don't go up. What you say?
Yes.
So nothing on there now.
Because we dey go back.
That was a reporter, Victor Kroma, seeking the views of people on the slight increase in the price of meat. A key quarter in the west end of Freetown has explained about the visibility of his business as Lucian Gander was at West Street to look at their trade.
Over 20 years now.
You don't make it one game business. Nothing where they make you life for before.
Oh yes. So from this people too, I don't go work
with one Lebanese, now one coming over 3 years, 3 months from there. I say and say, if I do it for myself, it will be better for me. So I make myself come back. I don't can continue now for do it for myself.
So now what you do for yourself? So you realize any profit?
Yes. Profit day.
Okay.
Well, the profit, I know they put money in a bank, but I educate the people there. Then at the same time, I they able to pay me with rent. Then at the same place, for me, say we can make it a day. So now one of the profits.
So at least comfortability, you get that.
Oh yes.
Alright, now we go. The technicality of this key business. Now I want to talk about small.
Okay.
Some people like you get some motor car where they don't make overseas. Where they bring a kind of like you call them sensor.
Okay.
If that kind of key they lost, when I pay we can.
Well, what they count now, because we don't lose the whole switch, not the get it. They pull the switch, they count to it. When they count and when they open the switch, you cut the key. After we don't cut and down. The machine they when I program it, when I they take programmer, the sensor the key will they cut. And then the sensor now they put it inside that rubber the sealer. Then I program the machine where they programmer. They call them. They go they can program for me.
So that's a two-way switch. So now they do my own part, the machine do your own part. No, so you know that you call a master key or anything. Now they make them master key and what do they say that they use for open any motor car?
Well, really, they should say master key, but me from what I don't learn this so cannot see it. Me not see it. My boyfriend don't learn me for make master key.
Okay.
I don't live on over like I don't know how to tell you over 20 years. One day I don't get problem. Because when they come, criminals when a criminal person when come they know. Because the kids and they we in a LIC we not for court. We counter it dip soap we not the cutter. They can't afford all cash on the kidnapper where they can't no see a problem we not the do. So the fact that you take them laws and they don't get problem.
Oh, we not get laws when they develop.
Yes.
Safety camp and soap.
Soap, we don't for
We're not supposed to cutter.
No.
Person has see the key.
If for cow the key.
Oh, the one who switch.
Or the one who, if na motaki, they don't lose finally they pull the switch to counter.
Okay. Now we look at OC. You are able to make OC.
Yes. OC then the same thing. If for cow the key. Yeah, we not go watch too much no more. They'll cut people. They cow the key. Because we say we the cutter. The girl we when it secure you. Because we cutter the cutting there. Na different one. So they even when they talk to people Sunday na beaucoup keys they can get. They test if na kamotuka. Sunday they can meet up. But for say the actual key they may not say it because even the keys they will buy different. The one the way they go inside, the one they put at for the other lock motuka, you don't even go inside. Because the keys they get line. Yes.
The line not appear the same.
Yes, if not the same, they by left and right.
Right. Now before they let you get opportunity to talk to government. What do you want to tell them about this business?
Well, I tell government for nowadays on election, any government
the new one where
they come. Let a fair place for we. When they find that place for we go able land other people there for let them know in the street. From this work here we don't land. Would they live? Would they feel with family? So some people that come for let able land there, but the side which side would they very tight. So if any chance come up for we go find for we.
Because like if rain can
if rain can, so take the way this place here they full up. Pass with park. They can inside your own. So when the water go back, they will come on and do that.
And in that interview, key quarter talking there to Lucian Ganda. Well, that's it for the business update.
The Youth Parliament Sierra Leone has condemned the use of tribal and regional sentiments as tools in pursuing political agenda. According to a press release, politics is a game of testing popularity at the polls without rancor, as tribalism and regionalism have no place in society. Politicians, the release states, should focus their campaigns on strategies and policies towards the provision of quality and affordable education, immigration and security entrepreneurship, and business creation, and guaranteeing the rule of law. Electoral management bodies are encouraged to be vigilant, independent in the conduct of the runoff elections, the release ends. As the country approaches the presidential runoff, the Secretary General of the All People's Congress Youth League, Ali Conte, who also doubles as the presidential youth aide, has called on young people to refrain from all forms of violence but remain vigilant on polling day. Mr. Conte called on Sierra Leoneans to vote for Dr. Samura Kamara as he is the fittest man to lead the country after President Nkrumah. Mr. Conte, who was speaking to SLBC, said the country needs free, fair and credible elections. We bring you an excerpt of his statement.
First and foremost, my message to the young people of this country is to appreciate them for participating in the just concluded general elections, wherein their conduct was very, very much appreciable to the general public. And towards the runoff elections, I'm also calling on the young people for them to go out there in their numbers so that they can have a say in the decision making of this country.
Now, what do you have to say generally to voters? Yes, I know your constituency is the young, but what do you have to say to voters generally as the country goes into presidential runoff?
Generally to the voters is that the race has now been limited to two personalities, Dr. Samura Kamara and retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio. We are calling on the general public to see how best they can look at the character, the profile, and the experience of these individuals. But to be specific, I'm the Secretary General of the APC National Youth League. I'm calling on the young people of the APC party and the National Youth League to see how best we can go out there. Let us reach out to those of our membership for them to go out and cast their ballot for Dr. Samura Kamara. And I also want to appeal to those people that took all the strength to register to participate in the elections in the provinces, for them to see what they can do so that they can get back to those places where they registered before the election so that they can go and cast their ballots for Dr. Samura Kamara. My message to the young people of this country is for us to continue to maintain the peace, keep the peace, whatever dissatisfaction that we may have, let us go and demonstrate them in the ballot box. But furthermore, let me call on those that are charged with the responsibility to carry out the elections. Please, we are all Sierra Leoneans. It is enshrined in the Constitution that we should have the right to participate, to associate, and to belong. But if you are given the responsibility to oversee an election that has to decide the next leadership of this country, the interest of your country should be put above political interest. If you think you are a politician, you want to seek the interest of your party, you have nothing working as a NEC official. Please go out there because the opportunity have been given. If you are a politician, go and serve as a party agent or a party authority for your party, but you could not be as a NEC official while you're working on the interest of your political party. These are some of the things that have been rearing their ugly heads in the past few days prior to the presidential runoff. So we are calling on those officials that please, this time around, we as young people in the APC, we are determined, we are poised, we are vigilant, and will ensure that the will of the people prevail.
To end news are the main points. To avert violence-related issues on March 7, people call for peaceful elections. President Nkrumah has met with eminent women of Sierra Leone 2018 Situation Room. 40 military officers of Sierra Leone, the Gambia, and the Sierra Leone Police have completed intermediate staff course on leadership. And former councillor and parliamentary candidates of NGC, ADP, CDP, C4C, and PMDC in Port Loko have declared for the All People's Congress. On behalf of News Editor Ibrahim Mansae, I am Fabian Swill. Thanks for watching News Hour on SLBC. Have a good evening. Cheers.